everyone, and welcome back to this course on Google AI Studio. We are exploring some interesting run settings available to us in the right panel, and in this lecture, we will discuss the setting called as top P, which is, as the tooltip suggests, the probability threshold for top P sampling. Now, this range goes from 0 to 1, and by default, the value is set at 0.95. Now, for an average user who is not into more technicalities, the output might not make any difference. However, for technical users, I will explain you what exactly is top P and how you can change this top P value to customize the response that you get, right? So, what is top P? Top P is also known as nucleus sampling. Okay, it is a way for AI to choose the next word in a sentence or the next action in a sequence. Now, instead of always picking the most likely word, which can make the AI sound repetitive and boring, it does something else. It gives probability to different words, and then based on the top P we have given, it delivers the output. Now, a quick example is if you ask someone, how are you? The most probable answer is good, right? So it has the highest probability of coming out as a response. However, if you ask someone, how are you? And they say terrible. So the probability is still there, but a lesser probability than good. So there are two different probabilities of any outcome, and top P suggests that probability that we want the AI model to pick up and give response. Now I'll give you a more better example. Now imagine you're trying to get the AI to complete the sentence, the weather is very, and then space. Now without top P, always picking the most likely. The AI might always choose nice because it's statistically the most common word to follow that phrase, right? You get the weather is very nice, the weather is very nice, right? So it's a general likelihood uh, is high, and that's the most likely response you will get. So again, there are other probabilities also, like sunny, cold, warm, right? So AI ranks these words. Nice is probably getting 30%, sunny is getting 25%, cold is getting 15%, pleasant is getting 10%, bad is getting 8%, terrible is getting 2%. Now, what AI does is it adds up the probabilities, right? That 20, 10, 8, 2. AI is adding that probability. Now, let's say I have given the top P as 0.80. So, it will keep on adding that probability until it reaches 80%. Right? It will add nice, which is 30%, sunny, which is 25%, cold, which is 15%, warm, which is 12%, and then it will reach 80, right? Suppose it has not reached 80. Suppose it has reached nice plus sunny plus cold is 70%, which is not enough. However, if it adds nice, sunny, cold, and warm, it becomes 80%. So that is fine. Now, AI will choose to include all the words nice, sunny, cold, and warm. And then AI will randomly pick one of these words to be the next word. The weather is very nice, the weather is very sunny, cold, warm. So, the more p value you give, the more the probability of getting different responses than the most likely response. I will quickly give you an example over here. The best, no, I'll probably put it like this: complete the sentence. The best way to learn coding is, and then I will copy this. Now I will keep the top P to be probably 0.15, and then I'll say run. So the best way to learn coding is by doing. Now this is one of the most common responses you will hear about how to learn coding, right? Now what I'll do is I will do the same thing, increase the p value to 0.95. Okay, and now I'll click on run. Now you see that AI has changed its response. The best way to learn coding is through consistent practice and application. This is less likely to come up. This is definitely probable, and somebody will definitely answer it this way. But 10 out of uh, you know 100 people would answer is this, and 90 out of 100 people would answer the best way to learn coding is by doing. So the probability is higher and the p value is lesser, but if I increase the p value, then it will give a very different kind of response, which is a combination of different responses, and it will give out the most a random response from the different probabilities of responses. Now the question is, why use top p? First of all, more diverse output. It allows for more creative and less predictable text. Second, it avoids repetition. It prevents the AI from getting stuck in a loop of using the same words over and over. And third, it's more human like, right? Humans don't always pick the most likely word, they consider alternatives. In short, top p helps AI to be more interesting and engaging in its text generation. Lower p gives more concise answers, a higher p gives a more creative answer. And that's how you can choose a top p to change your response. Top P lets AI a little more surprising by considering a range of good choices instead of always the best choice. And that's how Top P is important if you want some more creative responses from your models. I hope Top P is kind of clear to you, and thank you so much for joining me in this lecture. And I will talk to you in the next.